The day started off wrong and it only got worse. After a night of less than satisfying sleep, I found myself staring wide-eyed at the ceiling. My alarm, an unwitting accomplice in my day's disastrous start, had miserably failed to perform its primary duty. It was a shocking betrayal, considering its usual punctuality. I lay there for a moment, suspended in the early morning silence before the reality of the situation kicked in. Jolting awake, I bore witness to the glaring mid-morning sun that had invaded my apartment through the large window. Normally a lover of the sun, I cursed its cheerful brightness, as it felt like a mockery of circumstances. I dragged myself out of bed, my body heavy with a sense of impending doom. Disoriented and in a state of panic, I found myself stumbling around the cluttered mess that was my apartment. My apartment, usually a haven of peace and tranquility, mirrored the chaos within me. The remnant of yesterday's dinner, a box of leftover pizza, lay on the table, its existence forgotten until I accidentally knocked it over. The box yielded easily under the impact, its contents spilling onto the floor. I could only watch as the slices landed, cheese side down, onto the carpet, each piece settling into the fibers, much like the sinking feeling within me. The day was already off to a catastrophic start, but I resolved to salvage the rest of it. I moved towards the kitchen to prepare some coffee. The rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee usually set me up for the day, but today it felt like a weak consolation. My hand, unsteady from the morning's trials, slipped just as I was about to take a sip. The hot liquid splashed all over my shirt, staining it with deep, dark splatters. I could only stare at the ruined fabric in despair, but there was no time. It was just one more thing that had gone wrong. As the hours passed by in a haze, the workday turned into a nightmare. Deadlines whizzed past like bullets, each missed target amplifying the palpable tension in the air. My boss, who usually had a soft spot for me, was not amused. His usually warm gaze was replaced by cold stares, which only made the day more unbearable. By the time the clock signaled the end of the workday, my spirits were as low as the storm clouds gathering overhead. I left the office, hoping to escape the day's miseries, only to be met with an angry sky. Raindrops began falling thick and fast, like the universe itself was against me. The weather seemingly echoed my feelings of despair and frustration. My car, my old faithful sedan, usually a source of comfort during such downtrodden times, jerked violently and died halfway across town. A dead engine, a dead battery, all leading to a dead end. With no other option left, I pushed my car off to the side of the road. The rain fell mercilessly on me, soaking me to the bone as I made my way home on foot. Each step I took felt like a battle. I was past the point of no return. My only option was to keep moving forward. The lights of my apartment finally came into view, a haven in the storm. I found myself standing at the door, utterly defeated and drenched to the bone. Pushing my car to the side of the road, I finally made it home on foot, soaked to the bone and utterly defeated. That night, as I lay in bed, the day's failures replayed in my mind. Desperate for escape, I fell into a restless sleep, one that led me into a dream far more vivid and chilling than any reality I had known. I was aware I was dreaming, a lucid dream, but the control I had was limited, twisted. The dream began in my backyard, but the sky wasn't right. It boiled with dark, swirling clouds, pierced by strange, ethereal lights. An eerie silence hung heavy, then a low, pulsing hum vibrated through the air. As the ship landed, the hatch opened with a hiss, revealing 3 figures cloaked in shadow. Their eyes glowed faintly in the dark, their intentions unreadable. A chill ran down my spine. This wasn't the friendly encounter I might have imagined. Something about their presence was menacing. They approached, and I, rooted to the spot by a mix of fear and fascination, could only watch. They communicated not with words, but with thoughts that echoed in my head, unnervingly clear. They knew things about me, my failures, my fears. Their laughter wasn't joyful but mocking, chilling. As they drew closer, the dream shifted, the surroundings morphing into a series of disjointed, surreal landscapes. I was no longer in my yard but aboard their ship, traveling through starless, uncharted parts of the galaxy. The aliens showed me visions of worlds beyond my darkest nightmares, planets where shadows lived and breathed, and stars that screamed in the void. The fear was palpable, tasting of metal and electricity, yet I was compelled to watch, to understand. Each scene they revealed seemed a test, a challenge to my sanity. Their laughter now twisted around the edges of my mind like a dark refrain, but as we ventured deeper into the cosmos, a part of me began to resist, to question the reality of this nightmare. Was this truly just a dream, or had I stumbled into something far more profound? The morning after the dream, I woke up with a sense of unease. The vivid images of the alien encounter were still fresh in my mind. I tried to shake it off, to chalk it up to the stress of the day before, but the dream clung stubbornly to my consciousness. Every mundane task was a struggle, my mind constantly wandering back to the lucid nightmare. I found myself in front of the computer, fingers flying across the keyboard in a frantic search for answers. Articles about lucid dreams, alien encounters, psychological phenomena, all devoured in a desperate attempt to make sense of the surreal experience. I pored over books, scanned through forums, even dug into the farthest corners of the internet where conspiracy theories thrived. Hours slipped by, the sun making its steady arc across the sky. The real world seemed dull, mundane in comparison to the terrifying vastness of the cosmos I had glimpsed. The aliens, their mocking laughter, the shadowy planets they showed me. I could still feel the chill of their presence, the echo of their thoughts in my mind. A sudden realization struck me: could the dream have been more than just a dream? The details were too vivid, too real to be the product of an overactive imagination. The idea was ludicrous, I knew, but the seed of doubt had been planted. As the sun set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, I couldn't shake off the feeling that something had changed. The dream, the aliens, their message, it all felt too real to be just a figment of my imagination. The day's events had left me with more questions than answers, and I couldn't help but wonder, had I really ventured into uncharted parts of the galaxy, or was it all just a lucid nightmare? Days turned into weeks, and the dream continued to haunt me. I started seeing signs everywhere, symbols that matched those in my dream. It was as though the universe was trying to communicate with me, guiding me towards some hidden truth. The world around me seemed to mirror the cosmic landscape of my dream, filled with alien symbols and cryptic messages. One day while walking through the park, I bumped into a stranger. The man had a distant look in his eyes, as if he was lost in his own world. We started talking, and to my surprise, he seemed to know about the dream. The symbols, the aliens, the far-off planets, he described them with a frightening accuracy. It was as if he had seen the same dream, experienced the same terror. He introduced himself as John, a retired astrophysicist. He claimed that he too had been haunted by a similar dream, and believed it to be a message from extraterrestrial beings. According to him, the symbols were a form of cosmic Morse code, a message from a civilization beyond our solar system. His words sent chills down my spine. Was it possible that we were being contacted by extraterrestrial beings? The seed of doubt had grown into a tree of curiosity. I decided to explore this further, to find out the truth behind these dreams. I started working with John, deciphering the symbols, trying to understand the message. It was a daunting task, but I was determined. As I embarked on this journey, I knew that my life was about to change. The dream was not just a dream, it was a call from beyond the stars. I was stepping into the unknown, ready to unravel the mysteries of the universe, one symbol at a time.